Disneyland is your land.
He comes seeking adventure as the old pirates, eh?
Made the jump to light speed.
Welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm TC. Disneyland currently has headlining attractions at both the original Disneyland and a Disney California Adventure. And they have optional skip-the-line services that are charged per person per ride for what is called Lightning Lane passes. Radiator Springs Racers at DCA and Rise of the Resistance at Disneyland.
And today, we're taking a look at the current state of these two attractions with a close eye to how the rides are being maintained and how the overall experience is at this point in time.
Looking first at Rise of the Resistance, the ride is overall delivering an impressive and impactful experience. Yet, there are definitely things not working that were when the ride opened late in 2019.
The multi-staged queue has not lost anything to maintenance issues. The theming as you wander through the caves of Batuu is incredible and totally convincing.
On our recent November runs, the briefing room was working flawlessly as Ray and BB-8 give you the lowdown on what your rebellious mission is.
And the transport ship piloted by Lieutenant Beck had all of its monitors working, as well as the very impressive audio animatronic. This scene would really lose something without this technological marvel, which is so lifelike it seems to breathe.
The interrogation room seemed to be working well, and in general, the cast members really seem to have gotten the timing of all of this down to a science. It's really a lot of fun.
Once you are in your trackless vehicle, the excitement really starts, and we find a few things that aren't working so well.
Now, we understand that it's unavoidable to have tire marks on the floor from the trackless vehicles, but we do think that Disney should do everything that they can to minimize them. Really, part of the magic of a trackless vehicle is not knowing where you're going to turn next. But if there are clear marks in the floor telegraphing that information clearly, there isn't much mystery to your future path.
Just a bit later, you run into a probe droid that drops down a Jeffries tube, surprising you. When you run into a couple of stormtroopers on the second level, they take shots at you that leave actual marks in the corner of the ceiling. This effect is achieved through a combination of a physical panel retracting and a projected effect. Moving on, the huge jaw-dropping effects seen in the AT-AT room all seem to be in place and working. It's an amazing and exciting scene.
Although, the elevators in this room do seem to be the cause of several of the attraction's breakdowns.
The lightsaber effect where Kylo plunges his saber into your turbo lift is still working just fine and is awesome and impressive.
As you get out to the final scene, almost to the escape pods, a scene that really feels like the climax of the ride, we get a great view of a major space battle. And we pass by and underneath some huge space cannons blasting away.
This scene has an effect that hasn't worked for so long, we wonder if it's been abandoned. The huge cannons used to lurch backwards as they fired, then retract forward again into position, forcing your vehicles to dance around them. Today, the large cannons just sit there static.
Oddly, most times, the vehicles still do a little jig and movement as if they were dodging the sliding cannons.
The scene when it is working is so impressive we regularly got goosebumps experiencing it, but cool as it still is, the current state of the scene just isn't as impactful.
The rest of the ride, including the really awesome Kylo Ren animatronic and the escape pod sequence, were looking great. We know Kylo has gone down a couple times, but the repairs have been quick.
Overall, this ride is still awesome. One of the best theme park rides we've ever been on anywhere. But we do hope that all the effects are fixed and they're not simply abandoned like so many of the original effects of the Indiana Jones adventure.
Across the Esplanade, Radiator Springs Racers, definitely my favorite DCA attraction, is offering a great ride experience as well.
This attraction has been the most popular ride at DCA since it opened in 2012. It's a pretty impressive run to be the headliner of a park for a decade.
Racers doesn't really have moving parts to its queue experience outside of the fountain, and everything there is working, charming, and cute.
Currently, as you start out through Ornament Valley, the ride is as beautiful as ever. Then, you enter the tunnel and cruise past Mac the Mac truck and the traveling tourists.
But when you get to your scene with Sheriff, he is still static. He used to come forward from behind the billboard. He was just 5 feet or so, but it added a lot of believability to the moment. He still talks to you, and it's possible it was cut for some other mechanical reason, but either way, the Sheriff movement effect has not worked for many months now, possibly over a year.
On our recent ride-throughs, we were excited to see the tractor tipping scene working completely with all 3 tractors tipping. In the past, the number of tractors that actually tipped changed constantly, and it's not meant to be that way. The scene just works better when every cow tractor gets tipped.
As you come into town, the scene is looking great with all of the many effects working.
Here, the ride vehicles split, one going into Ramon's for a paint job, the other going to Luigi's for new white wall tires. Ramon's has been working consistently, and we are stoked to report that Luigi's effect has been fixed. For a long time, probably close to a year, the white wall tire effect in the large mirror was not being revealed.
You would pull in, and the curtains would close as Luigi talked to you, but the curtains would not reopen, showing you your new white walls. And it's really cool that this major ride effect has been fixed.
As you pull into the next room, there is a newly broken element, if they haven't fixed it yet, that is. The large animatronic mouth of Doc Hudson is sitting agape and static, no longer animating with the audio.
It's not that the scene doesn't work with the mouth not moving, it's just that it works better when it does.
And the finale of the ride, the Fantastic Race, is as good as ever. Super fun, fast bumps, and baked turns that are delightful for everyone into a fun, final goodbye scene with Lightning and Mater.
We are glad to see the ride experiences for these headlining attractions are still very high, especially considering the amount of money that people spend on the individual Lightning Lane services for them.
Still, it does seem like there shouldn't be anything that's allowed to remain broken on these e-ticket rides for very long, certainly not months and months. Don't you agree?
Well, that's it for us today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Please take a moment to like and subscribe.
And please check out our Shopify store. There's a link in the description where we sell exclusive high-end printed photography and canvases for your home. And we're running a holiday deal right now.
May the light in the firehouse window always shine brightly, and may your dreams always come true.
See you real soon, Mouseketeers.